Sprinkles, alcoholic. Sprinkles. All right. Just want to say welcome, Matt. Mark, welcome. It's nice to see you guys here. Thank you to the guys who called me, reached out to me on my birthday. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, you know. 3 years is pretty cool, you know. I keep hearing it's a big deal. So, I guess, you know, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now, you know. My story may be different from yours, but hopefully there may be some similarities in there also, and maybe you guys can relate, and that's the big deal. I hope that somewhere through what I'm going to talk about, I can relate to somebody on some level, and I can show you the journey and where I've gone and the things that happened to me, and maybe that will trigger something in you, and you can understand, I don't know, this program. Maybe you want to dip into it a little bit more. You know, I'm trying to listen to, you know, find a similarity. You know, I came from a family where, you know, I had a mother and a father, you know, I had a lot of love in my house. That's not everybody's story, but I say that, not like bragging, I say it because in my household I was more, you know, I didn't go without, I was more of a spoiled individual. And that led to me being able to take advantage of the people around me and not have to be responsible. So it's a little bit different than some stories. You know, my dad drank when I was young. I have 2 younger brothers. My uncles drank. You know, they smoked weed, they sold drugs, they did that stuff, and I didn't see anything of that being a problem. I grew up in that environment. You know, the guys I idolized were my big tough uncles who always had a Budweiser in their fucking hand, you know, at the family barbecue. There was always smoking some weed, you know, that shit was normal for me, you know. So I got the idea that shit was cool, you know. I liked the Marlboro Man and the Camel commercials and the big tough guys, and I thought that's what a man's man was, you know. And I just grew up with that being comfortable as part of my life. You know, I got older and I got to where I started experimenting with things, and I started smoking weed and drinking probably around 13, 14 years old, you know. I remember 6th grade, I was cutting chunks off my dad's bricks and taking it to school, you know, so we can check it out. So that was normal, you know. I drank a bit there, I got in trouble, I got expelled, you know. I pushed the limits. I was one of those kids that, like I said, I was enabled to be able to do this shit. You know, I could do no wrong in my parents' eyes. I was a spoiled brat, man. And I did a lot of shit and I got a lot of trouble, and I kind of had some consequences. You know, when you're young, you're 15, 16, that's what happens. You know, once you get, I got older, I got into high school, man, and smoking and drinking really took off, you know. I mean, I thought that I was fucking cool when I had a beer in my hand, and I thought that was the thing to do. Like, I was a stoner and an alcoholic, and I wanted you all to know it because I thought that made me fucking cool. Like, you would like that shit. Like, fucking Justin's badass. Look at him. He's got a skateboard and fucking, you know, shaggy hair, and fucking, he's got, you know, weed all the time. Oh yeah, that shit's cool, right? Well, back then, man, I'm telling you, I was the shit, dude. In my own head. Between my 2 ears, I was the man. You know, and then high school flew by, you know. There wasn't, you know, for 25 years of my life, I think I was on something, you know what I mean? Up until these 3 years, there was something in my system from those days up until, you know, now. It never fucking stopped. You know, I had a girlfriend in high school, and her brother would score us beer, man, and it was every day, and it started, you know, first it was the 240s of Mickey's at the fucking kegger, and then it was, you know, a 12-pack, then it was, can you go get me another 12-pack, and it just grew and grew. And I remember her saying one time, I think you're an alcoholic. What did Pavy say? It's time to get a new girlfriend. So that's what I did. I said, well, shit, she's fucking up my drinking and using, right? You know, messing me up. So I gotta get rid of that. Then you dip into your 20s, you know what I mean? I started hitting the bar scene, and I don't say this stuff bragging, but it's part of the story, and hopefully you can relate. And I started, you know, using harder drugs. I experimented. I tried everything. I really liked cocaine, so I dipped into that world, right? Work construction. Hung out with those guys, thought that crowd was cool, everybody was doing it. I hung out in the fucking bars, you know, I was a local at all these ones around here in my 20s and then even into my 30s. And I I enjoyed it at that time. You know what I mean? I was having a good time. I was the fucking man. I was working various construction jobs. I could get one job, get fucking wore out all weekend, get strung the fuck out, and go work for the electrician on that job. You know, the next day I had skills with my hands. I learned a lot about construction young, and I was able to go from job to job, and in the process, leave, you know, fuck one job off, start another one. I had no problem doing that, making money, and it just enabled and fueled my addiction. You know, I get older. I got a BUI and Havasu on a boat years ago, and I didn't think shit of it. You know, I blew like a .24 or whatever. You know, it was nice. I never took care of it. You know, I didn't give a shit. That thing hung over my head for like 4 fucking years, and all I had to do was take some online course and pay some money. I ended up getting arrested and getting a warrant, and ended up having to go to Needles to deal with that shit. You know, and the judge is like, just fucking do the online course and you're done. It was so easy back then. You know, a few years went by, I got a DUI at the brass, and nothing was slowing me down. I got the quarter to DAs, and that was my first taste of coming in these rooms. And I came here on a card, and you know, at 24, you know, I'm like, I don't got a problem. You guys, what the fuck are you guys? You got nothing better to do here on a Wednesday, right? You guys are just bored and old, and you have nothing going on, right? I didn't see it, man. I wasn't ready to see it. But and I say that because if you're here on a court card or you're 24 and you're doing this shit, it gets old quick, man. You know, you see that old guy in the bar who's still fucking partying and doing that shit. Well, at 24, you don't think anything about it. But next thing you know, at 24, 26, 28, 32, and you're still doing that shit. It doesn't look good when you're a fucking, 38-year-old man, not taking care of his responsibilities, just getting fucked up, right? And you're at the bar, that's your life. And it just transformed into that. You know what I mean? This having fun transformed into that's who I was and became, and I was doing every night, And then it became, well, fuck, I gotta have some shit just to get through the day. I can't go to work without fucking having some lines in my pocket. I can't, stop at lunchtime without getting at least a couple tall cans, right? And then that shit turns, a couple tall cans turns into a couple little shooters with it. I get off work, I need some more stuff. And next thing you know, it's cycling. I had 2 kids around that time in my mid-20s also, and me and mom split, and I ended up keeping my kids, and I thought I was a responsible parent. Again, back to the enabling thing is I can go to work, get off work and go to the bar and party all fucking night, show up whenever I want, because my mom or my grandma or somebody would watch my kids for me. And I took advantage of that for a long time. And I lost a lot of time that I can never get back with my kids, you know what I mean? Instead of being home and being a dad and doing those things. I mean, I made soccer games, I did shit on the weekends. I wasn't out every night. Probably 85% of the time I was. And I lost time that I can never get back. And I say that because if you're a young guy in this program and you have an addiction, some of us have kids, you're gonna lose some fucking time you can't get back. Time fucking flies by when you're getting fucked up. The fun turned into not fun anymore. Pretty soon I'm like, I don't want to go to the bar and waste all my money because I need that shit to get drugs and alcohol. That bar is expensive, so I started doing it at home. You lose friends, you lose relationships, and it gets to the point to where it's fucking not fun. I need that shit to function just to get by every day, and when I didn't have it, then I was an asshole. At the bare minimum, I was on alcohol, you know what I mean? That's the minimum. That's the cheapest of all things I think I could get. And it turned into an addiction, and now I've got a problem, and I don't know what the hell to do. But I do know, hey, fucking AA, that shit's, it's free, My insurance didn't cover any programs or anything for me. I kept getting in trouble, the law. I mean, I got some other cases hanging over my head that aren't just DUIs and BUIs, and I've got some assaults and things like that I didn't deal with because I would rather get fucking high. That shit all catches up with you. It's gonna bite you in the ass. If you don't deal with it, it's gonna bite you in the ass. Somewhere in this whole mix, I knew I didn't want to be this way anymore. I quit and I started going to AA, and I did it for a few years. I gave up 3 years. I did 3 years, and I gave that up to just start partying again, right back on where I left off. And then I got some help again. I came back to AA. I said, you know what? I know where to go. I know where I get the help. I was just there to suffice whoever the fuck I was with at that time, or shut my parents up, or you know, the girl or whatever it was. I was just there. Yeah, I'll try this, right? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the gifts. I wasn't ready for the message. You know, I found myself in a good relationship, and my kids were getting older, and I didn't. You can only be one of two things. You can't be a drug addict, alcoholic, and a good father, or a good employee. You're just going to be a drug addict, alcoholic, or you're going to be a dad, but you can't do both very well. And I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be a father. I didn't want to be that fucking 38, 40-year-old fucking guy in the bar. Everybody was getting older, and the crowd was getting younger, and everybody else around me was having lives and buying houses, and fucking life was really happening. And I'm wasting all this time just getting fucked up. And somewhere in the balance changes. You go from being the cool fucking dude at the bar, getting high, fucking partying, having a good time, to now I'm this old fucking kind of pathetic looking dude, you know? And it all kind of is making sense. I'm like, I get my shit together. Came to AA, tried, you know? And then somewhere in there I fucked up again. I just went off the rails, you know, and I'm gonna start eating edibles. And the next thing you know, I was getting a little bit of blow. Started doing some blow. I got kicked out. My girlfriend's kicking me out. She's like, what the fuck? And this is what kind of, she's like, what am I gonna tell your fucking kids when you die, you know? What happened to your dad? Oh, your dad fucking OD'd. My dad didn't even do, what are you talking about, you know? And that shit really fucking hit me. And I found myself on the side of the road, drinking and doing drugs. And it wasn't even fucking for fun anymore. I wasn't at the bar playing grab ass, you know what I mean? I wasn't having fun listening to music, hanging out with my buddies. I was just drinking and using just because I needed to drink and use. And it wasn't like I'll do a little bit here. I was just fucking pumping it in my system because I fucking needed it, you know? And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna fucking die. You know what I mean? And that, if I didn't stop, I would have died. At the rate in which I was going, I don't think I would have lasted through that fucking weekend. I knew where to go. I knew where to get the help. I went into an AA meeting. I was off Doherty Road in Arcadia, and I heard a guy speak. And he got me to this meeting. And, you know, he said some things when he was up there. That's why I say I'm trying to relate. Maybe some of this sounds like your story. And what he said made sense to me. And I found a little bit of myself in him and what he said. And I came here. And I knew where to get the help and where to get it free. And I came here wanting this and knowing a little bit about it. And I said, well, fuck, man. I'm gonna give this thing a shot. You know, I came in here and I really wanted to change, and I wanted to be a better person. I didn't want to fucking die, you know, and everything. I wanted to get my shit together, dude. You get sick of being sick and fucking tired. It gets to be not fucking fun, you know. My rock bottom may not have been, you know, as rock bottom as yours. I may not have been on the streets, but I've spent some nights in my truck, and I've spent some nights at buddies' houses. And from a spoiled ass fucking white guy from Monrovia, I don't enjoy that shit. You know what I mean? But that's, you know, that's me. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go all the way down that road. I came in here and I said, fuck. I heard what that guy said at that meeting. I'm going to fucking go over here and see what these guys got going on. I walked in these doors when it was that small meeting over there. And it was fucking awesome, man. I felt great. People were shaking my hands. People were saying, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. People were sharing their stories. A lot of guys that are still here in this room right now, you know, shared their stories. And I'm like, God, fuck, dude, this is me. These guys are who I am, right? It all fucking started making sense. And what do they say? Get a sponsor, right? Well, fuck, if I don't get a sponsor, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die. I got a sponsor. Hey, let's start working these fucking steps. What do we do? You know, all right. We started doing some work, you know. 1, 2, 3, easy. 4, we get down to fucking brass tacks, you know. And then fucking 5. Those were big for me, you know, being able to work these steps with a sponsor, getting a sponsor, working these steps changed my fucking life. It made me, that point in my life, it makes a difference. You have to get the sponsor, you have to work the fucking steps. And I don't work them great. I'm a procrastinating motherfucker. I'm slow. Thank God my sponsor's nice and soft with me. You know, he's hitting me with the kid gloves. So, you know, everybody's different. They work their program different. I'm sure a lot of I hear people talk about their sponsors. Just getting one and going through these steps helped me learn about who the fuck I am, what triggers me, why I'm doing these things, what I'm afraid of, fucking, you know, a million forms of fear. And then letting that weight off my fucking shoulders. We carry these burdens as addicts and alcoholics, and we have all these problems, and you may feel not good enough, or you may not feel loved enough, or you may not feel whatever it may be. But working these steps and getting that shit off my chest, I mean, I came out of this like halfway through this process of these steps, I was a renewed man. I mean, this fucking weight lifted off my shoulders is absolutely amazing. And I've become a part of this fellowship, and I've made friendships, and working these steps has made me a better human being. Today, and it wasn't that long ago, I mean, fucking 3 years this time, it wasn't long ago that I was some fucking asshole. I wasn't a good employee. I wasn't a good person. I wasn't a good father. I wasn't a good friend. What I have now, I'd like to think that I've kind of got some of that shit back. I've got a good job. I've got a roof over my head. I'm a father to my kids. My daughters drive me nuts, but that's another story. But I'm a father who's there, and I wouldn't be able to have any of the things I have. If you walk in this room, since you've known me or as long as I've known you, and you think I got my shit together, the only way I have my shit together and I seem like a fucking decent human being, and anything that you find positive about me is because of this fucking program. Because if you saw me outside of this program, you'd say, that's an old fucking drug addict douchebag. You don't want to be a part of that shit, right? I'm pretty sure, unless you want to score something, right? And all that I have now, and all the positive things, and the person that I am, and the friend that I can be, I'm only able to do these things by the grace of God, my higher power, my sponsor, in these fucking steps, and in these rooms, and working with you, and talking with you guys, and hearing these experiences. Is all of it rolled into one is the only way I have what I have today. And if I take my foot off the gas, I'm afraid I would lose it all. That's why I stay trying to come here. I stay at least in the mindset of a 12-step program all the time. Whether you hear me here, you hear me on Zoom, you hear me, or you don't see me, I try and live this path because it works for me. It works for hundreds, it works for millions of people worldwide, and it has, and it can change your life. It raised me, it grew me the fuck up, you know what I mean? In a lot of ways. So thank you guys, thank you to all of you. I want to end with this. I had somebody say something to me the other day, and this shit hit my heart. It lets me know I'm on the right path. I was talking with a friend in the program, and he said, thank you for being a friend to me, because ever since I came in this door, you've been a true friend to me. And to hear somebody tell me that shit means a lot to me. It means I'm fucking doing something right. You know what I mean? For somebody I didn't know, both fucking asshole addicts, to be able to come in here and hear that shit's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So this program works. Thank you guys so much. I mean, I don't know, that's my story, man.